views expressed may be politically controversial. Viewer discretion advised. Good evening, America and lovely Miami Lakes, Florida. Welcome back to the super sexy Black Saitama show. Let me start off with the disclaimer. The views expressed in this presentation are not meant to offend any party. The super sexy Black Saitama show may present unpopular, controversial political opinions. Don't get upset. The content presented is for entertainment purposes only, so please sit back and enjoy the show. Yes. All right, man. Welcome back to the super sexy Black Saitama show. I'm your host, Black Saitama, aka Amir Waheed. Let's get started. As always, the topic is always niggers and politics, all the time. Today, the subject will be, without white law enforcement, who's responsible for the criminal blacks? Also, we're going to touch on a few facts presented from Larry Elder. We're going to also go over why Candace Owens got in trouble this week, why Trina got in trouble this week as well. All right. So I'm going to start off with just me, just thinking the way I be thinking. All right. So let me put down this book. I got a good little excerpt I'm going to read to you guys later from the Willie Lynch letter. All right. So one thing for sure, let me read this to you guys. One thing that's never spoken about within the black culture is criminal black behavior. And we're going to touch on a few of those subjects and issues as well today. So we're talking on 4 subjects today. Fatherless homes in Section 8 being one. Being 13% of the population but committing 50% of the murder. That's ridiculous. That's number 2. Number 3, 7,000 deaths annually, black deaths annually. More totally than the KKK ever killed altogether. So we have to talk about that as well. And number 4, of all 70% of black on black homicides, 75% of it goes unsolved. I guess from the no snitching code. So we're going to start with all 4 of those. We're going to cover all 4 of those. We're going to start with Mr. Larry Elder presenting some facts. Okay. Here we go. My dog Larry Elder, man. Nobody kicks it like him. All right, about to start it right now.
Fact, of the 400,000 non-homicide violent black-white crimes, 85% are black perp, 15% the other way around. Fact, blacks kill more blacks, nearly 7,000 last year, than the KKK did in its entire history. Fact, a young black man is 7 or more times more likely to be murdered than a young white man, and again, almost always by a young black man. Fact, blacks kill 2 times as many whites, 500, as whites kill blacks, 250. Fact, blacks, 13% of the population, commit 50% of the murders. Fact, of the 50% of the homicides in this country that are committed by blacks, they are almost always committed by other blacks. Usually young black men. This means roughly 3% of the population is responsible for nearly half of the nation's homicides. Fact, the number 1 cause of preventable deaths in this country for young white men is accidents, like car accidents. The number 1 cause of preventable deaths in this country for young black men, homicide. Fact, Chicago, murder capital of the country in terms of absolute numbers. The city is a third black, a third white, a third Hispanic. Blacks account for 70% of the homicides, and by the way, nearly 75% of them are unsolved. Now these are...
Wow. So you guys got the numbers, huh? So we're starting off with the facts. I want you guys to sit back and enjoy, right? Because Larry Elder, he put it all out. And of course, he's number 1 coon. As soon as you put out those kind of numbers, boy, those kind of facts, you're coon number 1 in the black community. All right, so I'm going to start off right quick. After hearing that, here's a quick excerpt from the Willie Lynch letter. All right, so let's make a slave. The origin and development of a social being called the Negro. Let us make a slave. First of all, what do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man, a pregnant nigger woman, and her baby nigger boy. Second, we will use the same We will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking in a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. We will reduce them from their natural state of nature, whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their needs and the needs of their offspring. We break that natural spring of independence from them and thereby create a state of dependency, a dependency state, so that may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure. Wow. I kind of stumbled when I was reading that. I'll read that a little later, or you could go and download it yourself. So what they say is the same way as breaking in a horse. That's how you make a Negro slave. So let's touch on that. They say you need the man, the woman, and the child, and it's the same standards of breaking in a horse. So the first thing you have to do is take them off of dependency, independent dependency, meaning that they can survive on their own. So if you take away that nature of them just being able to survive on their own and make them totally dependent on the slave owner, right? Now you have, you're providing them with everything they need to live, whilst you get the return. You get the product in return. You get their labor for free, right? And they provide you with everything that you want, to sustain your life. And then you just provide them with crumbs and torture and stuff like that. So we were starting off with topic number 1, fatherless homes and section 8. All right, guys, welcome back. Took a little quick break. All right, so like I said, we're starting off with number 1, fatherless homes and section 8. Okay, so how did that all start? We always hear this myth of the Republican Party and the Democrat Party switched. And, that's a whole subject on its own. But we're just going to start with how Democrats seize control of the Democrat vote, right? How Democrat leadership seized control of the black Democrat vote. Okay, so it started with Lyndon B. Johnson, right? So they were working on the Great Society Act, right? So within this new act, they're going to present welfare to the black woman, right? And he exchanged it with, we'll have niggas vote in 200 years, Democrat. He made a quote like that. I'll read that a little later. But in essence, during the 60s, the black woman accepted government welfare, right, which was the Great New Society Act, because, mind you, back in those days, those civil, that was real racism. That was real Jim Crow, so, that was like the best deal on the table. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this rioting we have now. It's the freedom we have to protest now is not what blacks had back in the day. Like, there was complete torture for those guys. So the black community accepted the best deal on the table, to provide homes for the children and the women at least, and the men they'll keep, they'll continue, the black men will continue the burden of, racist times, prejudice times, as long as the woman and the child could eat. So we accepted the deal. So black voters started voting Democrat in exchange for this new program, right? But in exchange, what they didn't tell you was, if you receive welfare or Section 8 housing accommodations, the father must be outside of the home. You feel me? So the father of the child can't be there. You know what I'm saying? So now, without the father, what does that happen? What happens? Me personally, I grew up with my father, nuclear family, mom, father, brother, and sister, and we all grew up together. And we lived there, Cal City, my whole life. Went to Cal City Elementary, Cal City Middle School, high school. Lived here in Opelika, Miami Gardens area my whole life. Majority black, is kind of mixed with Hispanic and blacks now, but minority area, right? And you could see the difference with the father in the home. You know what I'm saying? My dad was also law enforcement. He's still law enforcement right now, and you could definitely see the difference. We were me and my brother, we had discipline, we had rules. It was certain criteria, and we were raised in the Nation of Islam. So just to add that, law enforcement household, Nation of Islam, very strict structure. So there were lots of rules, lots of chores, lots of discipline, lots of religious events, mosques. We went to the Million Man March, so on and so forth. Compared to the kids living down the street in the housing like project housing, right? A lot of them didn't have fathers in the home. They had fathers that come around, and we see how it turned out. Always caught up in mischief, crime. I could continue a little bit more on that as well. But let me start off with this quote from President LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. I'll have niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Here are the claim quotes from them. These Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days. And that's a problem for us, since they've got something now that they've never had before. The political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got something to do. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something. Just enough to quiet them down. Not enough to make a difference. I'll have niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. So in exchange, welfare. So now listen to the rhetoric and the tone of how he was talking. Uppity Negroes. We got to give them a little something, right? So we grabbed onto that shit. That little something is all we needed. You feel me? But in exchange, what did it take? It took the father out of the home. So now look at what we have today. So that was in the 60s. Now fast forward 2020. You have 70% fatherless homes, right? You have young boys turning out effeminate in alarming numbers. Just look at Dwayne Wade's son. Just look at how Charlize Theron raised her kids. Young boys she adopted, raising them as girls. And you hear the stories more and more. Look at the women. Look at the women's behavior. Lizzo, big ass, dotting around, ass everywhere. They call it, the black community calls her a queen. Beyonce, shaking ass everywhere. Yeah, she can sing. Love her singing. Ass shaking everywhere. She's considered a queen. Who else? Let's talk about the boys. Let's talk about the thugs. The thugs, the criminal element, right? So the first question is, who raised these criminals? These people these thugs, the murderers, the rapists, the gang members. Who raises these guys, right? They all, most likely, they grew up, they tell you the same story. Grew up without a father, blah, blah, blah. We never addressed the real issue. Why isn't the father in the home? Because that black woman is not giving up on government dependence. She wants them food stamps. She wants everything the government gets her, just that little bit, right? She can't control this guy that she's with a new baby daddy. She got another baby coming. So now he just growing up looking for guidance. The streets pulls him in because there's no guidance at home. You guys have family members that's right here in the black community. You know how we live. It ain't no secret with me. I'm not the one dude that knows the secret of all black of fucking America. Everybody knows how we live. Everybody could drive around our neighborhoods. It doesn't look like the white neighborhoods. Everybody could go to the stores in our neighborhoods, the black customer service. You feel me? It's not like that in the white neighborhoods, right? So now, back to the topic. Without white law enforcement, right, who's responsible for the criminal blacks? Because the black man can't say shit to these women out here, these black women. You feel me? We have this no snitching code, right? So when the good law-abiding black American citizen is terrorized by a fucking criminal, and now that we're against the police now, in these new times, we don't want police, whatever, who's going to take care of that situation? Because now we're not allowed to snitch on them. So that's the first topic, man. 13%, number 2. We're going into number 2. 13% of the population is black people. So black people make up 13% of the population. I think white people make up at least 76, within 76 percentile, and then Asian, Indian, Arab, Hispanic, all that, that's different numbers, right? But out of that 13%, all homicides in America, 50% of them are done by blacks. So how can a small percentage of 13% of black people commit 50% of the murders in America? If you guys have questions, please, or answers, because I don't have all the answers. You guys, instead of calling me a coon, instead of calling me an Uncle Tom, these are questions that I really want to know. If you guys could elaborate in the comments, that would be perfect. Just like I was just talking about the 13% of the population. Let's move forward while you guys think about that. Even I'll think of a few things while we check this Candace Owens clip of what got her in trouble this week. Candace Owens gets a lot of criticism. She straight shoots out the facts. She doesn't care about the name calling. I guess she's fed up with it because it doesn't matter year after year. It doesn't matter what she presents. She's gonna be called a coon. She points that out with a lot of black conservatives. Everybody gets that treatment, whether it's from Clarence Thomas, whether it's from Larry Elder, whether it's Herman Cain, Ben Carson. Once you decide to announce yourself as a black conservative, black culture, the black community turns their back on you. You feel me? It's funny to me because I'm right in that same category. I get called all the best names in the book. Sellout, Uncle Tom. My favorite words. My favorite one is Sambo. That's the one that makes me laugh the most, man. Sambo. That's the funniest one. But anyways, let's get into this Candace Owens clip where she gets in trouble for what she's talking about. Let me set it up. She's talking about the criminal past, the criminal history of George Floyd and why that matters. And I'm going to touch on that too because there was a clip with Charlemagne. He was being interviewed from some lady and he advocated that all blacks should be able to defend themselves, which I agree. So then he said that even Ahmaud Arbery should have been able to be jogging with a firearm. And then that's when I had to pause, like, nigga, did y'all see his videos of prior engagements with the cops? Now to say this guy was pulled over for shoplifting at Walmart, checking people's houses, right? He got what was that one cop that caught him by the train tracks and they were just going back and forth. He had his shirt off with a jacket on, right? If you don't know someone's criminal behavior or criminal history, right, and then you just allowing them to jog with a goddamn gun, like did he get the gun legally? You feel me? So anyway, so let's get this Candace Owens clip started where she's talking about George Floyd's criminal history, and this is what got her in trouble. And then for a fun fact, we're gonna tell you something about what got Trina in trouble this week as well. But let's start with Candace Owens. All right.
George Floyd, what is his record? Does it matter? Me personally, I think if you spend some time in prison, you make a mistake, I'm a big believer that society should forgive you, especially when you're young and you have a first offense. I think it can be very easy to get caught up in the system. I have used my platform to speak out against that, to try to box people in and pretend that they are always criminals. I believe in second chances. I don't know that I believe in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances. So I wanted to show you guys what the media has not been reporting on. You can say this is not a value, but I'm going to tell you why it is a value. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. 1998, George Floyd spent his first prison stint 10 months for theft with a firearm. Okay, I believe in second chances. In 1998, it's a very long time ago. Again, 4 years later, in 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. Different offense. We're talking about a drug offense. Okay, you can say that was another mistake. But then 2 years later, he spends another 10 months for a cocaine offense. I guess just another mistake. 2005, he spends another 10 months for a cocaine offense. This time, they stipulated that he had less than 1 gram, and he went back to prison. Now, the most important crime that he committed is the one that he spent prison time for, and a 5 years for, pardon, in prison. And I want to paint this picture because this is what makes me feel disgusted in Black America, because we are so willing to let Black victims who are victims of Black crime, we have no defense for them. Black on Black crime we don't care about. Imagine you are a pregnant woman, because this is what happened in this scenario. You are a pregnant woman and you receive a knock at your door. And it is a person that says they work for the water department. So you waddle your pregnant butt to the door and you open it, only to realize the person standing at your door does not work for the water department. You very quickly try to slam the door closed, at which point a Ford with 5 other black men pulls up into the front yard, and 5 men jump out of the car, one of which is George Floyd, and he jams his way into your home. Now, you are pregnant, and at this point, George Floyd takes a...
We could pause it right there. Okay. So she further on goes on to say he sticks a gun towards the pregnant lady's belly, and you know they proceed to robbing her, right? So she also goes on to say, now, how many chances is this? We give this guy, 6, 7, 8 chances for him to get right. What was that dude in that movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence? Bokeem Woodbine. Remember, he played the character Can't Get Right? So this is pretty much George Floyd, and this is pretty much we've seen these situations plenty of times, right? Where it's like they have a criminal history, like for real. So it's like now she gets in trouble from the black community, right? Because I understand it, right? This is the time to be empathetic, sympathetic to what's going on. When Candace Owens brings up the conversation of police brutality or anything like that last year, 3 years ago, believe me, she was still called a coon. So it doesn't matter what she says. People just can't wait to rebut or dismiss her talking points, or she's getting paid to say this, or nonsense like that. They don't want to stick on exactly what she's talking about. They want to dismiss it and call her a coon. All these niggas do it. Tariq Nasheed, all these niggas do it. They all, they don't want to hear what she has to say. D.L. Hughley, T.I., these guys. And then even Killer Mike, right? Killer Mike is so funny. He agrees with Candace Owens, right? But he still want to be cool with the black community. He still want to be cool with black culture. He doesn't go all the way in to double down on what Candace Owens is saying, because what Candace Owens is saying is true. And if corrected, the black community will flip 180 overnight. If we correct those things that Candace Owens point out, that moral character, and not only Candace Owens, Jesse Lee Peterson, he points it out, that moral character, that criminal behavior, if we address those issues in the black community, if we address these fatherless homes in the black community, if we address why are we 13% of the black community committing 50% of the crimes, if we address why was the police called in the first place, what Candace Owens say? He had some cocaine on him, right? So he went there with intentions. He was going to another business, whoever owns the business is a hard-working person, pays their taxes, has to keep the building up, got to pay rent, whatever. Business taxes, licensing fees, blah, blah, blah. And then here you go, trying to get over with a fake $20 bill. Okay, there's no crime there to say this warrants death, right? Okay, but anyways, you still committed a crime. I'm calling the cops. Okay, call the cops, right? The black community is so funny. They try to focus the attention on who called the cops. Any crime committed, the cops will be called. I don't care who it is, what color you are, right? So they call the cops on them. So while the cops are being called, he knows he has drugs on him. He knows this might be 3rd, 4th, 5th strike. That's exactly what Candace Owens is talking about. You have to know the criminal history of these people. You feel me? Okay, so she condemns the police behavior. So it's not even about she's agreeing or making excuses for the police. Everybody's in agreement that the police was over-aggressive, right? So we get the protesting, and we're protesting with George Floyd as the face of this movement now, right? And like she said, we always take the bottom denominator of the black community. Free Boosie, free Gucci. You know what I'm saying? We're never putting support. Even my cousin says this. My cousin says this all the time. Why are there so many programs for black people that's fucking up? Where's the fucking good programs for motherfuckers that's doing it the right way? There's not enough attention on that, right? So is a funny subject, right? So Candace Owens, she gets a lot of backlash. She gets a lot of backlash for these comments. I agree with 100% of everything she says. I'm 100% Candace Owens supporter. I grew up the same way. I just heard of Candace Owens, Jesse Lee Peterson, who else? I heard of a few of these people a couple years ago, right when I moved to St. Thomas. But before that, I'm 100% Ron Paul, Libertarian, the Venus Project advocate type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Conservative values all the way. That's from the Nation of Islam. Conservative ain't even being political. That's just a Nation of Islam trait. Just political, just moral character, good code of conduct, values, conservative traits. That came from the Nation of Islam. You tie it in with American politics. I'm a libertarian conservative. So it just makes sense to me differently. And I grew up voting Democrat. We all did, right? We were, you especially in Cal City, you could visit a voting precinct with me when it comes to election time. You don't have to know who you're voting for. As soon as you pull up there, you have all kind of niggas giving you ballots for Democrat. And it's like they already giving you the ballot of who you should vote for. You don't have to question anything. You just fucking follow, okay, vote, So we all know how the game is played. Nobody, the voter isn't really informed on who they're voting on. I know what I'm voting on. I know the issues. That's one of my favorite hobbies, right? So to get into the issues and what we're voting for. So I see exactly what Candace Owens is saying. And we all get fed up because year after year, like she says, every election, that's when the Black Panther comes. That's where it's Black Panther season. Y'all talk about the Black Panther movie. Hey boy, this is Black Panther. This is when all the fucking celebrities, all the Democrat politicians pander to the black community. All of a sudden Hillary Clinton got fucking hot sauce. All of a sudden Joe Biden eat chicken wings and shit. Right? So she tries to prepare black America for these subjects that's gonna happen every election time. And every time she announces it, she came off with a nice approach before. She's an Uncle Tom. She came off with a nice approach. She's a Bedouin. She married a white guy. Now she's just cutting the shit, no holds bar, right? And in the midst of all of that, let me see. There was a retired cop that was killed recently. Let me see if I could get to him. I think I got him right here. This guy. He's retired cop. I forgot his name. I think Chris Boyd, I think. Retired cop. Protecting the pawn shop from the rioters and looters, right? He was gunned down. And the video is on there. I think I have the video too. Let's get to the video, man. I'm playing around. Let's get to the video, man. Where is it? There you go. Here we go. Let's sink this in.
Hey, y'all seen that shit, man? Damn, cuz. Damn, I just killed this old man, cuz. Oh, at the pawn shop over some TVs, cuz. They killed them, cuz. Come on, man. Come on, cuz. That's somebody's granddaddy, cuz. Hold on, cuz. Give me my thumper, cuz. Give me my thumper, cuz. No, cuz. They just killed this man, cuz. No, cuz. Sit in the car then. Sit in the car then, cuz. Come on, man. No, stop, cuz. They just killed this man, cuz. Come on, nah. Come on. Hey, man, shut up, cuz. Call the law, man.
Hey,
Call the
he said, man,
ambulance,
shut up.
man.
Hey, let me pause it
Come on,
right
they
quick.
just killed.
Hey, his whole boy there panicking because he a hoe. Now, see, this is so the guy that's commentating right now, the black man strength in him is coming. This is God telling him to do the right thing. He's no longer a nigga at this moment. He's a black man concerned for another black man. He just seen some bullshit. And this gonna be an unsolved mystery. Nobody's gonna know who killed this man. Right? So the black God touched this dude's soul. He had to go check on this old man. The nigga in the car still a hoe. Scary. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to it.
Hit this man with some TVs, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. OG. 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 Come on, stay with me, OG. OG, stay with me. Stay with me, OG. What, bro?
Sad situation, man. Let's get back to the picture, right? These are the people that died during the riots, right? But we marching we marching for what's his name, George Floyd. This cop just died recently during the riots. Did he die? Hold on, probably not. Did he? Fighting for his life after being run over, right? This shit crazy, man. We talking about the wrong issues. Candace Owens points it out, and then y'all niggas get mad. This is who we should be marching for. Where's the picture of him? The old dude. There you go. This is who we supposed to be marching for. You know what I'm saying? This is who we supposed to be marching for. And my friend, she just sent me a clip. Let me see if I could replay this clip, because you know me and her talk about it all the time. So let me get to this clip so you guys could hear it. All right, so we're talking about the same subject earlier on Messenger, right? So and this is the thing I hate about the black community, right? So we're so emotional, knee-jerk reactions get us all emotional. So now we just rioting and doing everything for George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, police brutality, right? So now when Candace Owens points out that we don't want George Floyd to be the martyr, people are mad at what Candace Owens said, but they're not mad at what she said. They're not mad at the message because the message is 100% spot on. They're mad at the delivery. So then give it a day or two after the knee-jerk reaction, then they could come to sense and try to come up with an excuse of what Candace Owens said. They're still mad at Candace Owens, but then they still try to come up with an excuse to defend their reasoning for hating Candace Owens. But here's my friend, right? And this is what she said about it.
George Floyd was the tip of the iceberg. What I'm saying is, okay, take George Floyd out of it. This protest...
No, we don't want to take George Floyd out of it. This is what it's about. So keep George Floyd in it. You feel me? See, they want to take him out of it. Don't take him out of it. Keep him in it. Because we should be marching for this retired cop that got killed. But we marching for George Floyd. So let me finish what she was saying.
It's not necessarily George Floyd. He's just the face right now. I'm saying, what about the people like Fidel Castillo? That he wasn't doing nothing. He was sitting in his car. No record. What about the Tamir Rice? He a little kid playing with a gun at the park. Take those. I agree, don't use the worst as the face, but by that time you so angry, you're going to use the tip of the iceberg.
You so angry. See, she told the truth at the end. We so angry. That's why. So like, if you calm your emotions down, just calm your emotions down and think about the situation. So let's add Fidel Castillo and the rest of them that got shot and everything. Okay, if the conversation is police brutality and corrupt police, right? Corruption doesn't know racism. You feel me? Corruption don't know color. So if the police department is corrupt, let's make that the issue. Marching and hollering ain't gonna change that. You have to present shit through Congress. You gotta put paperwork together. You gotta lobby your issues through the political process. So if that's the problem, lobby it through the process. Now you can protest, but at least you have paperwork in place to change the problem. If it's racial profiling, right? You motherfuckers voted in Bloomberg. Y'all was just gonna make him the goddamn candidate. He's the king of stop and frisk. Giuliani, you know what I'm saying? You guys love these practices because you know you need them. You know you need law enforcement stopping the criminals. You know that. You know what I'm saying? But then you vote this stuff in, you know what I'm saying? and then you complain about it later. That's the funny part, man. That's the funny part. Back to what I was saying about getting things changed with okay, Fidel Castillo and those situations. Okay, so those unique situations, right? All right. Rioting wouldn't have solved those problems. Rioting doesn't solve these problems. Like I said, you have to go through the political process. I don't see Angela Rye, Beyonce, Cardi B, Killer Mike. I don't see them sitting at congressional hearings. T.I., Jay-Z. I don't see them at congressional hearings trying to talk these in. I just see them trying to convince Black America with the culture, black card, race card. I just see them trying to influence Charlemagne the God, all them. All I see them trying to do is just make a big celebrity statement, get black people emotional, but nothing changes because this has been happening since fucking Rodney King. You feel me? So nothing changes. They just fucking cry loud. They get in front of the protest. They put their fucking fist up, right? They make everybody emotional. Kaepernick takes a knee. Everything is done symbolic, but nobody's at the Congress sitting down, briefing Congress on issues like Candace Owens is. Candace Owens is there at Congress, sitting there talking to all this white supremacy that y'all hate. And she's conveying this message that, oh, Candace Owens is with these, the white handlers that has the white handlers paying Candace Owens to speak the way she does. I don't see no criticism from anybody except for Democrats, white liberal Democrats, when she's in the congressional hearings. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris won't talk to her. Frederica Wilson won't talk to her. Maxine Waters won't talk to her. Sheila Jackson won't talk to her. Roland Martin won't talk to her. D.L. Hughley won't talk to her. Nobody will take her seriously. Tariq Nasheed won't talk to her. Right? You know what I'm saying? So if you guys won't allow her to convey her message on your platforms, you just call her a coon and Uncle Tom and sellout and bedwench and all that shit, she's going to go with whoever's supplying the ear, the need and necessity for that message. She's going to go with them where it's welcome. So if Republicans accept her, if conservatives accept her message, by all means, we're going to embrace it. She's trying to present it to Black America. You guys reject it, just like you reject Clarence Thomas, just like you reject Ben Carson, just like you reject Thomas Sowell, just like you reject Larry Elder, just like you reject Dr. Walter E. Wright, right? Just like you reject Farrakhan. Anybody that tells Black America the right thing to do, they're considered either a racist or a coon. If they're white, they're a racist. If they're black, they're a coon. That's the end of that subject. Wow, I went in. All right, cool. So the last little bit, right? What you say we should call it? We should call it what dumbness this is. What dumbness you're talking about? Okay, so all right, cool little thing we're adding in. So what dumbness are you talking about? Last week we had Joe Biden black litmus test. This week Trina is on the hot seat with her dumb ass. Luckily she was sexy back in the day. I can't stand liberal bulldogs no more, but let's jump right into the clip of Trina being a damn fool. And this is what got her in trouble this week, calling niggas animals. And you know what's funny? Growing up in Carol City, we called them hoes animals, man. But it's all good. All right, so cool. Let's get into this Trina clip. And this is what got Trina in trouble. And this is the segment, what dumbness are you talking about?
Gimenez imposed a countrywide curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and will be enforced until Gimenez lifts the order. They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the street, these animals off the street that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo. Lock them up at 5 p.m. so the streets can be nice and clean. That's how I feel.
What is...
Okay. Y'all need me to rewind that? What dumbness are you talking about? I actually agree with Trina, but she got the backlash from the black community, right? And so this is the part I wanted to say real quick, right? The backlash is the same regardless of who says it. Once it's criticism of black behavior, the real Negro coons will attack, whether you're conservative or not. I just wrote that right before the show, but that's really a powerful statement right there. Another way that I say it, give me 1 second, guys. Another way that I say it is if you gave Beyonce, Okay, my dog trying to chime in. He trying to jump in on the show. So, okay, another way I say it, if you gave Beyonce a Candace Owens speech, the typical Candace Owens speech that she goes around and speaks around the nation, if you gave Beyonce one of those speeches to read, right, the whole black community will call her a coon sellout in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter who says it. If she sang it now black people would be happy. If she sang a song about it, black people would be happy. So let me say that again. The backlash is the same regardless of who says it. Once it's criticism of black behavior, the Negro coons will attack, whether you're conservative or not. And so let me start it over with Trina.
Running around in Miami-Dade County, they need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo. Lock them up at 5 p.m. so the streets can be nice and clean. That's how I feel.
What the streets got to do with the people's lives? You got money.
We're not talking about the lives. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the lives.
All right, hey, hold on. This is a quick little part with the this is a quick part with my MGTOW right quick. MGTOW and MAGA, right? Because MGTOW doesn't go without MAGA, and MAGA don't go without MGTOW. Now, this is a MGTOW segment right quick, right? This is why MGTOW men go MGTOW. Who the fuck wants to deal with this loud ghetto bulldog at home? She not letting you speak. You know what I'm saying? She effeminizes you as you speak because as a man, you want to get your word in. She cutting you off. She, nah, blah, 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 right? And then it's two things about Trina that I'm mad. We were speaking about fatherless homes in Section 8, right? She is the supreme example of attitude you deal with when it comes to those single mothers. And that's who raised them. Trina raised these bulldogs out here, especially Miami, especially in these black communities, right? It don't matter if they got a college degree. It don't matter if they got a goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? That even make it worse because now they feel even more powerful and blah, blah, blah. But imagine dealing with somebody like that at home. You a man and everything you trying to say. All right, cool. Let's get back into it.
They're not talking about that.
You got money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These people got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
These people been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown just like them. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These people ain't been working.
Okay.
They about to lose
Unfortunately,
their
a lot of
mind.
people don't have jobs. I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
They about to lose their mind.
We all about to lose our mind. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And just because
So,
one person.
mm-hmm, they run. So today their minds are all back. Everybody's minds is back today good? Because the weekend it was they back good, okay?
They mind. One day it's gonna get their mind good.
So,
But it'll help.
Oh, okay.
You
It
gotta
helps.
start somewhere.
Okay, that's cool.
You gotta start somewhere.
And that means tear up
Ain't
city.
nobody.
That means tear up city.
Ain't nobody telling no city.
That means tear up. That means run through and tear up our stores and burn down our stuff and breaking our stores and go and tear up Bayside Marketplace and tear up my friend's shop that has a son and a kid to take care of her family. You go demolish the shop.
It's always personal. It's always personal with Trina. It's always personal with Trina. Okay, so back at it. Okay, so two things about Trina in this here. Two things, right? Trina, she really knows what's going on. She knows that secret that Candace Owens and all black conservatives are talking about. She knows that secret of black culture. So she's exposing it now. These niggas are these animals that's fucking running around breaking. You know, Trick, he go hold up for the hood niggas, you know what I'm saying? But Trina, she's exposing the niggas that Candace Owens is trying to, all those stats that we were talking about, the fucking 13%, 50% crime, murder, all them stats, right? Trina knows the type of nigga we talking about, right? So she called them animals. She apologized because, you know, once you're collecting that check from Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, hey, you gotta be politically correct, you know what I'm saying? And then like she was canceled from the black community, and that's her whole market base. Ain't no white bitches checking for Trina. That's 100% black market base right there. So that's why, you know, she went ahead and apologized. And just like my friend said earlier on the voicemail, like that knee-jerk reaction. It's personal for her because her friend still got ramsacked in Bayside, right? And so now it's personal to Trina. Why these animals came and fuck up my friend's shop? You know what I'm saying? So so Trick was right. He called her out on it. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it's like, Trina, you've been endorsing this kind of behavior your whole career. So that's why a nigga can't take you serious. And when I tell you it's Black Panther season, that's why Bernie Sanders talks to Killer Mike and Cardi B. Right? That's why these dudes, these fucking Democrat presidential candidates, that's why they talk to black celebrities, black actors and singers and athletes. They don't speak to prominent black scientists, lawyers. They go straight to the entertainment source because they know that's the only way to convey their message to the black community, through a hip-hop star, through an athlete, right? You get your advice from Trina, I get it from Candace Owens. Call me a coon, it doesn't matter. It's to me, it's funny. So, speaking on with the Trina situation, right? And speaking about what Larry Elder was saying earlier, 7,000 annual black deaths, more deaths than the total combined of the KKK. Also, that was topic 3. Also, topic 4. Out of 70% of all homicide in the black community, 75% is unsolved. Okay, so let's get back to the Trina topic, calling these people animals. These are the animals we're talking about. 70% of homicides in the black community, 75% of them go unsolved. How? No snitching, black culture, criminal behavior, animal behavior. If you call it out, you're a coon. You're a sellout. If a white person calls it out, you're racist. You know what I'm saying? George Floyd up to no good, Ahmaud Arbery up to no good, right? The details don't even come. Black community already upset. When the details all the way come out, we still find an excuse to excuse the behavior. It's not about that. It's about police brutality. The nigga shouldn't have been a criminal in the first place. That's the shit that be pissing me off. We not spreading morality enough on the Democrat side. We're promoting welfare. We're promoting abortions. We're promoting LGBT bullshit. We're promoting Section 8. Right? We're not promoting fathers back in the house. We're not promoting motherfucking criminals getting chastising criminal behavior. We're not talking. The Democrat Party is not talking about a code of conduct or morality issues with the black community. All of that stuff comes from the conservative. So you don't have to be Republican to be a conservative. Conservatism is morals within your heart. The difference of knowing right and wrong. Trina was goddamn right to call them fucking animals. I condemn the riots from the beginning. I condemn all kind of violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm a non-aggressive, the non-aggressive principle with the Libertarian Party. I abide by that. That's what made me get out the military. As you can see, I got my dog tag. Oh. I got my dog tags and I got my peace sign. You feel me? And that symbolizes two things. Like I went in the military, I volunteered to go. You know what I'm saying? The peace sign came out towards when I told you I was in Djibouti, Africa. And I seen the conditions of how black people live there, right? And I know the conditions of how black people live in America. So much thinking and thoughts went through that time I was in Africa. I came back fucking non-aggressive, anti-war, pro-peace. So, that's why I'm going to leave my message off with that today. Let me go right back to a quick little segment on a quick little quote that I wrote on Instagram. And we're going to end the show with that. I think it was cool. Next time I'm going to try to get some guests on the show live talking. You feel me? Let me see if I can find this thing. I'm gonna set it off with this here. Let me read this here. Let you guys go with this message here. Black Saitama always keeps it 100, aka the truth will set us free. Black people lying to other black people is worse than white supremacy. Black people playing games, cheating, stealing, killing, deceiving, plotting, scheming on other black people is worse than white racism. I'm not playing the ignorant black culture game with you niggas. Pretty much the same thing Candace on. She's not playing this ignorant black culture, black card, here's your black card, and oh, black culture dismissed you, and a black hey, listen, it's 2020. The 1960s is over, man. You feel me? The 1960s is over. We're tired of that fucking shuckling and jiving around the issues. Buck dancing, shoe shuffling, you know what I'm saying, around the issues. We want to talk about specific things. Black conservatives actually want to address specific things in the black community, and we're stopped. We're stopped from fucking from white liberals, black Democrats, black progressives, just the black community as a whole, in consensus, right? You know, do not like the black conservative message. For what reason? Is it to continue condoning criminal behavior? That's something I'll be pondering on. Like, what is it about conservatism that black people hate so much? You feel me? But anyways, let me finish saying this here. I'm not playing the ignorant black culture game with you niggas. Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey already told us what to do, but y'all niggas listen to Obama and that LGBT bullshit victim welfare narrative. We are not the same kind of black people. My number is 340-473-2415. My name is Amir Waheed, aka Black Saitama, aka Super Sexy Baby. If you guys have any comments for me, questions, you could call my phone directly. You can hit me up on Instagram as Black Saitama _ or #2 Stunner, right? So you could catch me on there. You could catch me on Facebook, Amir Waheed or Prince Nassif. All right. I'm gonna put the PayPal and CashApp links in the description and throughout the description. So make sure you come enjoy the Super Sexy Black Saitama shows. Just getting started. As y'all could tell, I'm a little nervous, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna get a little better. We're gonna touch these issues. We're gonna touch these real black issues. We're gonna expose the real Negro coons from the black community, right? We're gonna start praising up black people that deserve praise, right? We're gonna do that for sure, and we're gonna stop, and we're gonna start singling out issues that we can solve one at a time, because I only have one job, and that's to get one nigga off the Democrat plantation one day at a time. Fuck with your boy Super Sexy Baby. It was a fucking blessing.